Awesome. My name's Steve Martile, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about a lot of things, but mainly what I'm calling the Guardians of the Galaxy and some good news for once. Actually, out of all the crazy shit that's been happening in the last 2 years, there's some great things happening, and they just came into my field of awareness, and I thought I'd share them with you. So last night we were on a call. There's a organization called Life Force. There's Life Force Global, and then there's Life Force for every country. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a little wild in the beginning, and I get that everyone's at different phases of awareness for this. But anyway, so I discovered them just over a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, and there's a Life Force Canada. And even though we're in the US right now, I wanted to participate and be part of this huge transformation movement. And so I run a TikTok channel for Life Force Canada. And anyway, so I was on the weekly call last night, and they were talking about these new changes that are coming out. Okay, and there's about 150 of us on the call. Every week, the numbers grow, and this entire purpose of this group, this community, is to restore the. It's partly to set up council so that we take, basically, as the government starts to collapse and starts to fall, what we actually take over the people, and so that it's run by us, which makes sense. But there's these 9 areas that they focus on for restoring the planet, and one of them is education. And so anyways, we were on the call, and we're talking about people taking their kids out of schools. It's really interesting, and every province is different. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is that when I was on the call, there was a lot of really good energy. There was some really smart people. I have a new confidence in our future because of the people that were on that call. And they're all from all over Canada, and just like talking about the education system, the new system, having schools and forests, and some of this stuff already exists, but it's private, it's not public. So we're trying to bring that to the public front so that it's available for everyone, so no one's left behind. So it doesn't matter what kind of, and our kids and the children are the future, right? Like, I don't have any kids, but children are the future. So this makes a ton of sense. And the topics that they're talking about as they reimagine this new future education system, which is starting now and will eventually gain momentum and gain the momentum of the masses, it's so wild. So I'll just share one idea, like the topics, feng shui. It's like the point is to have like self-help, work on like personal skills, professional skills, but it's like it's built to give you a curriculum so that the existing curriculum is still there, so that if you're like a welder, you can still learn how to weld. But it's for like kids that are interested in nature and art and like in the ecology, to learn, and to develop that, and to encourage Canadians to pull their freaking kids out of the current system, which people are doing, and they don't know what to do. So there's doing this version of homeschooling, and with this group of community does, it helps people actually bring the education to the homeschoolers, so that they can, in the short term, hire these people to, and there's facilitators and teachers and all kinds of people that are joining this. And so it's a not-for-profit thing. It's all run by volunteers, and eventually it will probably be totally funded by the people of Canada. And when I say that, I mean the councils, who are going to be the new government. So anyways, long story short is, I was on the call and I was thinking about the types of people are on that call. Really smart, bright, excited, lots of enthusiasm, like well thought out people. And some of them are from the current system that are moving into the new system. And I'm calling these Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's more just a reference to the Marvel movie, if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. It's a great movie, and it's a great superhero movie, but it's not really about being a guardian of the galaxy. It's about being guardian of planet Earth. And these people are like the 1%ers, because although there are a lot of people on the calls that want to contribute and help, and they do, of course they do, the people that are really like standing out to me are the people that are like really leading the change for this new education system. And after hearing a couple of the facilitators talk about what they see the new education system looking like, it really gave me a vision. I was like, oh, okay, now I can see it too, you know? So I'm going to include some links below if you want to get involved. But um, I was thinking about the qualities of these, you know, guardians of Earth 2.0. And the reason I call them guardians is that if we don't change the current systems, then we're going to totally become extinct. Because the current systems, and we're just talking about education at this point, um, is unsustainable. Okay, to keep up with technology, but also like the evolving human beings on this planet. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was just the qualities of these types of people, these what I'm calling guardians of the galaxy, because they got no fear. There's no fear. They have no fear at all. Like most of these people are just like all in. They're taking their kids out of school. It's different in every province in Canada, but you can take in Alberta, for example, you've total 100% autonomy over where your kids go to school. So you can pull them out right now and then have them in homeschooling or get them involved with the Life Force Canada education system and, you know, be completely independent of the current system. And this is going to migrate and happen over time. But what's exciting about it is that the people that are running it, they're fearless. A lot of them are volunteering. I'm volunteering as well. Like I mentioned, I'm doing the media for them on TikTok. And it's a calling to me. It's just like, I would do this regardless if they were paying me or not. I would just do it. And this is how I started coaching, by the way, over 12, 13 years ago. I started coaching for free because it was a calling to me. I just wanted to do it. I just felt like I felt connected. I felt like every time I did it, I got more energy. And the more energy I got, the more my life force energy opened up. And the more it opened up, the more I wanted to do it. And the more alive I felt, and the more I wanted to work out and eat well and take care of myself and take care of my family. And so when you start to do things like this, you start to feel like it's a calling. And that's why I put the heart there, is because you really start to open up and feel alive. These people are part of these big changes. These are massive changes. I mean, Canada is not nearly the size of the U.S., but you know, there's 34 million people, and we're starting with like a small group of people. Like I said, there was 150 people in this call, but total like smart people contributing. Everyone gets to contribute in their own way, and there's no bureaucracy. We're open to everything and all ideas. So it's amazing what they put together so far. And when they do have the website, maybe I'll share it with you guys once it goes live. But these people, I put down new family. If you've noticed in the last, you know, year, 2 years that you have started to distance yourself from your blood family and connect with a quote unquote new spiritual family, that's what this is about. And to me, this is a spiritual family, and that's why I call it the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, Guardians of Earth 2.0. Is this a bunch of people that are looking out for the livelihood of the masses, of everyone else, because we have a vision for what we can see to be the future. And I said there's like 9 pillars. Education was the one we were talking about last night, but the energy was so ecstatic last night, and I started texting. It's funny because I have 2 friends, really good friends, that I've known for a long time, but they were both on the call, and we were all texting each other. It was just like, man, I can't believe we're part of this thing, and it's so nice to be at the beginning of it, and to see so many innovations and great ideas being brought to the table that are getting implemented. So, yeah, like I said, it's a small group of people, but I mean, these people have special skills and special powers. And for some people, it's a certain energy and enthusiasm they bring. Other ones, it's great ideas. They just download the most innovative ideas. Others are implementers. You know, like some of the things I've heard about people getting a version of YouTube up within like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like a YouTube platform, but specifically non-censored, is some of the stuff that's happening, not in the Life Force Canada, but the Life Force Global. I think it's the US version. So I'm connected with a couple of these other people. It's amazing what's happening. And these people are these guardians. They're looking out for the future of this planet. So the future of this planet is totally different than the way it is now. It's a totally different financial system, totally different educational system, totally different ecology, like people who actually care about the planet. And we're going to be able to make responsible decisions about what we decide we want to create and the byproducts we create from some of our manufacturing and mining. It's really interesting that, like, I always felt that if I had enough money, I would buy up some of these big mining and manufacturing facilities because they pollute so much, and I would like redo all the technology because I knew as an engineer that you didn't have to pollute the earth. It was these big corporations and the 0.1% that were making all these decisions to pollute the earth. It was totally unnecessary. So it's just really interesting. It's like really interesting that, you know, the table's starting to turn. And I know everyone's at different stages for this. Not everyone sees this. But because of what I'm going to share, and this is where I'm going to get to the good news, that a lot of this stuff is new to you, I'm going to share some links to some references so you can kind of research this on your own. So I'm going to share a video of Kim Goguen. Okay, she's runs Lifeforce Global. I would check her out. Now, mind you, if you're new to this information, Kim's going to be, like, watching it's going to be a little out there. I'm not going to lie. But the more you start to like get involved in this and you connect the dots for things, you'll start to see that this is definitely where we are headed for the future. And if you're not ready, that's totally cool. Maybe you'll watch this video a year or 2 years from now and you'll be like, now I'm ready. And we're still going to be here. You know, we're still going to be here, a part of this. I'm going to send you another video of Michelle Fielding. She was interviewed by Nicholas. I can't remember his last name. Who's got a massive reach and following in the UK. But she's a British channeler. Okay, so if you like channeling, you like to get downloads and information from channelers, she's got some amazing information that I can't go in as much depth as she did, directly from her guides that I highly recommend you watch. I think it's about an hour long. And then David Straight, which talks about common law. Like, everything is totally changing. He's American, by the way. But all the things he talks about in common law in those videos applies to everyone on the planet. Now, what's the good news? So the good news is that the quantum financial system, okay, if you've never heard this word, this is coming, is going to be introduced late 2022 in the US, so about a year from now. And then it will also come out in the UK, Australia, Canada, and then the other countries as well. Okay, so you might have to, there might be 23, 24 before it comes out in your country, but it's first going to be coming out at the end of 2022. Now, this is, again, from Michelle, so she channeled this information. Probabilities, timelines can change, but that's a rough timeline, so about a year from now, which I'm super excited about because I've seen behind the scenes what these people are doing for this quantum financial system, and it's freaking out a lot of the cabal, the 0.1 percenters, because they no longer have control of the money for the first time in who knows how many years. The other good news, and the reason this is good news is because now there's going to be currency backed by gold, and there's going to be no more inflation, and like, it just gives you buying power, right? It's like you can make a minimum wage and still be very comfortable with that. That's not the world we live in now because it's a fiat currency, okay? Now, the second thing is that there's going to be, now the timing of this I'm not sure, but I've heard from several former CIA agents that have been posting stuff on BitChute that, and I'm also getting this from from a lot of places, but probably like a dozen different sources, that the IRS is not going to exist. In fact, they're laying people off as we speak. And I don't know if they don't have funds to keep people, or people are leaving because they're getting forced to get vaccinated, or what it is. But or get the jab. I'm not supposed to say that word on YouTube, otherwise I get censored. But yeah, so I'm not sure why, but there's definitely been a downsizing. And there was a woman that posted on Instagram saying that she's a certified CPA accountant, and she in the U.S. And she had said, and this was about 2-3 weeks ago, that in the 30 years that she's been doing taxes with the IRS and filing them with the IRS, this has never happened. What happened is their electronic system went down. They can't e-file anymore electronically. Everything has to be mailed in and written by paper and like pencil and, like pen and paper, sort of fill in the blanks, and like send in everything via snail mail, and it hasn't happened in 30 years. And the IRS is requesting that. So I don't know if their systems are down. I don't know why they're down, but this collapse, it's coming, it's happening, and I keep seeing it over and over again. So I'm not sure when they're going to be completely dissolved, but what that means is no more income tax, no more capital gains tax in the future. And this, again, is going to start in the US, and then it's going to roll out worldwide. Okay, so for Canadians listening to this, that means no more income tax from CRA. This might play out, like I said, to 22, 20, 23, 24, 20, 23, 24, so 3 years from now. I don't know the exact timing on it, but it definitely is happening. If you want to know why, then I definitely highly recommend you watch David Straight's videos in the links below, because I won't get into it here. But basically, you've been frauded with your birth certificate to believe that you, the individual, the human being, the male or female, whoever you are, has to pay taxes to CRA, and it's unlawful. They've actually committed fraud. Okay, so that's good news. That's excellent news for anyone who doesn't want to pay any more income tax, because it's basically stealing money from us. And then the last thing is all debts are going to be forgiven. Okay, now you might have heard of this Nasera Jasera. If you haven't, that's fine. But again, if you think about the way debts are, when you apply for a debt, a credit card debt, a mortgage, any kind of debt, what you do is you fill in an application, and if you go to the bank and fill it in, what they do is they get you to fill in the application, you sign it off, and then when you leave, the bank flips over the document, stamps it, and basically in that stamp, with that sleight of hand, they automatically have changed the contract to say that your labor, your working labor, is going to provide the collateral for the debt that you have to pay back. Well, what the hell kind of sense does that make? Because you're not aware of that, and no one is, what happens is, or very few people are aware of this, you are not aware that this is happening. It's not lawful, meaning the contract is null and void with that company. And because of that, you don't have to pay those debts. So what's going to happen is that when this new quantum financial system rolls out, eventually they're going to pay out all the debts for all loans worldwide, not in just any America, or not just in Canada, everywhere. Okay. And then the last thing was the education system, which I talked about at the beginning, which, I mean, I'm super stoked about this, because it's not like you're just going to learn traditional like sciences, maths, and some arts. There's going to be a whole new curriculum that's coming out based on creating a holistic education system. And it's stuff that I never would have imagined would be happening in my lifetime. But it's super exciting, because the education system that we currently have is dumbing people down. Unfortunately, I went through it and hadn't realized a lot of the stuff that, I always wonder, why don't they have finances and learning how to manage money inside of high school? Why don't I learn that? Why don't I learn that? It's such a basic, or grade school. Why isn't it something so basic I don't learn? I learned it from my parents. Luckily, I did. A lot of people don't. And that also gets people into trouble, right, with money. So the long and short of it is that the guardian of the galaxies, the guardian of Earth 2.0, they are here in human form, and they are prepared to do what it takes to bring this new vision. And the best thing that you can do is, if you're not ready for the information yet and you don't want to dive in and support it in any way, that's okay. I totally respect that, because you're on your own timeline, and I can't change that for you. However, what you can do, if you want to do something, if you don't want to contribute or be a part of this global movement, what you can do is just don't consent to the insanity. Don't consent to the big corporations, and be a free person, because you are already sovereign, and peace and prosperity is your default. That's your baseline, and that's the way we're going. Okay, so at this point, super excited, totally off topic, but I just wanted to share stuff that was on my mind and stuff that I've been like looking at. And if you want to prepare for this new quantum financial system, at some point you might want to pick up some gold or precious metals, because those are going to become more valuable, because they're going to be used to back up the currency that is going to change throughout, and not only just the US and Canada, but everywhere around the world. Every currency will be backed by gold, so that there's no more of this bullshit inflation. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, thumbs up, or share it with someone that you care about. Love you. Thanks for watching and being part of my channel. If you want, you can subscribe if you want to get more cool videos like this. And if you want to get, now I mentioned this as well, if you're interested in an energy clearing session with me, I'm going to put a link to that as well. It's something that I do to make sure that you're not blocking your life force, that, you know, that heart energy center, and you're in touch with the truth, but more importantly, your truth, and doing what's important for your life at this time. Any sort of soul contract you have and what you need to be doing, no better way to do it than to unblock your life force, because you can very, very clear very quickly what your role is, what you need to do. And thanks for watching and listening. My name's Steve. If you're interested in a set energy clearing session with me, there's a link down below. You can book a call with me, and I'm happy to chat with you to see if I can help, when I can help you unblock that energy. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve, and we'll talk to you next time.